Wow. Finally live. All right. This is Jason Avila reporting for Red Pill Nation Worldwide. Relatively new name for the channel. I haven't done a lot on the channel. You know, I still have to make one of those fancy, snazzy little opening channel things. Originally, I was a frontman for some bands. The original band was named Vile. That's V-I-L-E. Back in the day, I was very young. That name was stolen by a death metal band in Concord, California. So there's that. So then we changed our name to Ninth Lane. And if you take that Union 76 symbol and you flip it upside down, it becomes a 9L. It was the alley that my friends, my bandmates and I grew up on, hung out on in South San Francisco, California. Had a lot of fun. Had a studio in San Francisco. Been through our own drama. You know, most people have drama at some point in their lives. Then we changed our name again, added a few new members, called ourselves Defy All Odds. And then on May 10th of 2010, we were playing at a place called St. James Gate in Belmont, California. It was Mother's Day, and during our song Come Up, which is originally a Ninth Lane song, my guitar player Tony stepped forward and did the little thing that he does with his guitar, flips it around his back and then catches it. And we were just both standing in the wrong place. So yeah, I got cracked in the skull with that guitar, and it went viral literally overnight, and you've probably seen it all over television. It's been on Tosh.0 without our permission, I might add. Not only that, but Daniel Tosh changed our name without permission to Dick Vomit on national television. But it's been on Rob Dyrdek's Ridiculousness. It has been on True TV. It Only Hurts When I Laugh and World's Dumbest Performers. Oh, I don't want to turn there. It's also been on a couple TV shows and a radio station in Japan. Not a big deal, just kind of want to give you a background of who I am and where I'm from, what I do. I currently work for the federal government. You know, I'm a peon. I work transportation. I just, you know, I do little office stuff. Nothing classified, nothing, no big deal, nothing like that. I don't have a secret clearance or anything, and nor do I want it. I watch a bunch of you guys out here on YouTube and Facebook. Want to give a shout out, especially to Richie from Boston. Just Informed Talk, Call for an Uprising, and Stropey Me, The Patriot Hour, Mike from The Patriot Hour. I really like him. You know, we're all trying to put out important stuff and get the truth out there of what's going on around the world in our local areas. You know, I'm saying a lot, but this is not a scripted live thing here. I am married. I have a family. I take care of my wife and my stepdaughter. My wife and I both work, and my stepdaughter she's my daughter, ultimately grafted in, never to be grafted out again, because I'm just real thankful to have the opportunity. I do have another daughter, my oldest, from a previous marriage, and she is amazing. So I have good reason to have courage and stand up and talk about the truth and tell the truth. So my Facebook page, Jason.w.avila, Facebook, I think is what it is, something like that. You can find me on Facebook, friend me if you want. I'm pretty selective about who I accept in my circle of friends on my Facebook, but I do use that to go live quite a bit. The YouTube platform used to be just for fun, but I'd really like to be putting that out there to have fun with it. I used to have this drive to be a famous professional musician, but it's not so important to me now, because, you know, as each day passes on and something new happens, it becomes even more disturbing. We have so many things going on around the world, so many issues and circumstances, ranging from encroachment on our civil rights, encroachment on our Constitution, encroachment on our Bill of Rights, stuff being sprayed in the sky that is clearly affecting people's health. Richie from Boston had a doctor on that talked about, well, it was actually I forgot the lady's name that has the page, but it's called chemtrail lung. Okay, that's concerning. What else is also concerning is, you know, there is a clear line in the sand right now. Okay, some of us believe Donald Trump is the real deal and flipped on the Masons and is going after the deep state. And if you believe that the Simpsons are actually making prophetic predictions, then you know that, according to them, he gets assassinated. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping that he is, to the bitter end, the real deal, to never be silenced and to protect our freedoms. You know, the right to bear arms, the right to free speech, the right to privacy. These are all very, very serious issues that they're being encroached upon. There are divisions and factions and groups out there that don't want us to be a free country, that don't want us to live in a free society. They want to control everything we do, from what we think to what we eat to what we see and what we hear. It is disheartening and scary. If you look at what happened with Kim Jong-un and the president or prime minister or whatever he is called, the leader of South Korea, and where all the leftists were when all of that was going down. I mean, I was scared. I was scared. I went and stocked up on water and gasoline and iodine, and, you know, trying to make sure that we have what we need should we be in a nuclear fallout type of situation, type of situation, you know, about more bullets, just in case I have my family against radicalists. It's very real. It's very real, everybody. The world is in a state of panic. The world is in a state of flux, and a lot of people don't know what to believe. I personally lean towards InfoWars and Alex Jones. A lot of the stuff that he puts out is predictive and backed up by events that take place. Why am I going this way? I don't even know. I just want people to have courage. You know, fear is natural. Fear is okay. It's okay to be afraid. You know, fear it's a wall that we have to climb, and courage is the apparatus that we use to get over that wall. A lot of stuff's gonna happen. A lot of stuff is happening, and if you're afraid, I want to tell you it's okay. People would label me as a Christian, but they like to call me religious, and I have a problem with that because I don't practice a religion. I don't do rituals. I don't get involved in that. I'm actually not affiliated with any church, but I do believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God by the power of the Holy Spirit. I do believe that he was basically God wrapped up in flesh, came to earth, sacrificed himself, allowed himself to be sacrificed on our behalf because he was sinless, sin-free. And I believe that he was raised from the dead 3 days afterwards, according to what the King James Version of the Bible says. I've studied that book in and out, left and right, back and forth, Genesis to Revelation, and I've been paying attention to the other books too. I believe the King James Version is the only version that we can trust. If you go back to the original Hebrew and the Greek and the Aramaic and look up the words in context, the sentences in context, what they were saying, I believe, just like my buddy JB, God rest his soul, said, the Bible is basic information before leaving Earth. Basic information before leaving Earth. And there's a lot more than just basics in there, obviously. There's stuff about times that we're living in now, and I believe we're headed towards an artificial intelligence running everything, listening to everything, watching everything, judging everything. I believe we're headed towards just like in China, a scoring system. I believe they're going to put a RFID chip in every human being they can. And I believe that if you take the chip, that's like an automatic block into heaven. I mean, it's just automatic. When you die, if you have that mark, if you have that chip, then you don't get to go home. You get to go to the other place, becomes your home for eternity. The other place is horrible. You know, I have faith that God has a plan, and he already knows every single soul that's going to make it. The Bible tells us that he has numbered every hair on your head, that he's written you on the palm of his hands, and that nobody can snatch you out of his hands. So, like Richie says, there's that. You know, we got to have courage, folks. We got to stand up. Pretty soon there won't be a YouTube and a Facebook. That's what I believe. When they do finally shut that down, It is my belief that that's when the AI control system goes up, and that's when the chaos begins. And I, for one, am no longer a fan of chaos. That was back when I was a kid. I liked all that chaos stuff, you know. But I'm really not interested in the chaos. Really not interested in the chaos, but I am, however, interested in being able to live a life where I can do the things I want to do, which is make music and make fun videos and talk about fun stuff and talk about happy stuff and talk about joyful stuff, and no longer be in this battle for our freedom and our rights. You know, these things were set up for us a long time ago, so that if we ever entered into a situation in life where they would be encroached upon, we would have a platform with which to defend it and thwart the evil that wants to try and take control of us. There's a war on for your mind. I can talk about the document that was mistakenly sent to a journalist asking about Antifa and fascists and terrorists and all that sort of thing. You know, the ELF, the radio frequency waves, they can beam directly into your head. I could talk about the chemtrails in the skies and the planes that I've taken pictures of spraying. I could talk about the strange occurrences that I see in the skies and the clouds with HAARP. I could talk about David Hogue. I could talk about, you know, Parkland, Las Vegas. These things are not a secret anymore. False flags are not a secret anymore. It's out, it's real. I could talk about QAnon, reading the map. We could talk about history. We could talk about the can't even say it, the military-industrial complex. I don't know why it's so hard to get that out. We talk about Dwight D. Eisenhower's speech. We could talk about Kennedy's speech, which I believe got him killed. We talk about the Masons, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, all these things. There's so much going on right now. Talking about the individual things, I don't know, it's been beaten into the ground and beaten into our heads, but we can't give up. We have to keep doing it. We have to keep talking about these things. We have to keep exposing the circumstances. We have to keep showing the evidence that it's real. You know, Mark Zuckerberg in front of Congress said that they don't listen with the microphone on our phones and use that. If he was telling the truth, then there must be something embedded within our cell phone operating systems, like Android and iOS and Windows, that automatically captures information through your microphone and uses that to embed advertising. I was talking with my wife the other day about the X2 nascent iodine that is available on Infowars.com. We were talking about getting some of that, and lo and behold, because she didn't do a search on her phone, but what happens? She gets a suggestion for that particular product, like exactly that product. That tells me somebody's listening. Somebody is listening. So, you know, I'm sure somebody's listening right now. I don't know whether or not YouTube's going to be censoring this video. But they have been shadow censoring me. Facebook has been shadow censoring me. I did leave a voicemail last week. Had me a little concerned. But I follow my heart. So my heart said, you know, call Facebook up, leave a voicemail. So that's what I did. And I called them out in the voicemail. And I also told them if I end up dead because of the voicemail that I left, It's going to be the biggest mistake they've made in the history of the world. So there's that. If I end up dead, executed, offed, disappeared, whatnot, you can probably count that towards our social media platforms listening to that voicemail and seeing me as a threat. We're all a threat. We're all a threat to their agenda, and we all stand up against their agenda. And everybody who's not paying attention, it's time to wake up. It's time to get with the times. It's time to stand up. It's time to use your voice and be heard. It's time to address your representatives in Congress. Send an email to the President of the United States. Let them know what you're going through. I've done that I don't know how many times now. I used to be in the beginning, you know, when Hillary lost, nobody wanted Hillary. We were all worried about what was going to happen. But I was very against Trump in the beginning. Why? Because of his twittering. And I did not see what he was doing. It took me a while to internalize that and realize that his rhetoric was drawing out the vipers. And, you know, how do you kill a rattlesnake? You cut off its head, but you got to be careful. You got to be smart in the way you do it. You got to draw them out carefully so that you don't end up with the entire brood attacking you all at once. So I believe, and this is just a theory, that Donald Trump made it all the way to 33rd degree Mason and flipped on them. And I believe somebody knew that was going to happen. Where's my lighter? So here we are anyways. It's April 29th of 2018, and I'm currently in Reno, Nevada. I have a few things to get done out here today. I don't live out in Reno, but I do live nearby Reno. And it's just on my heart, you know. I go back to work in the morning, start all over this week, pay close attention to the current events, watch the news, listen to what QAnon's saying, listen to what Richie's saying, listen to what Call for an Uprising is saying, and determine what I have to do from there. I have more videos coming, stuff that I've filmed on my P900. Just don't be afraid, man. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to stand up. All right. If there's one thing that I know about God, is that He rewards courage in the face of fear. Okay. He rewards it. He rewards it immensely, and He'll protect you until your time. So it's, you know, it's not worth worrying about whether or not somebody's going to take you out. And if you have a feeling you need to get a message out to some folks just in case, that's one thing. But to sit there and worry that the world is going to end, we're going to have a nuclear war, they're going to take away our rights, they're going to turn us all into slaves, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're going to chip us all, they're going to take away the dollar, oh, we're going into Syria, we're going in Iran, we're going, oh, you know, it's going to be Skynet. Oh, don't worry. Why worry? You know, you got to be strong in your heart. And that doesn't mean you're not afraid, and that doesn't mean that you don't cry, and that doesn't mean that, you know, you have to hide. It's not time to hide. It's time to come out and be strong. It's time to stand up and support the President of the United States and let him know, so he has the courage that he needs in the midst of what he's going through. We will only succeed if we do it together. We will only succeed at protecting our freedoms and preventing the takeover of the New World Order and the globalist agenda if we stand up together. United we stand, divided we fall. All for one, one for all. Let's do this. Let's stay up, let's stay awake, let's not be afraid. Let's support each other. Let's lift each other up, you know. It would be a good thing for as many people as possible to contact YouTube and Google and Facebook and let them know that we're onto their scheme, their agenda, and that we don't consent. We do not consent. We don't consent for the chemtrails in the sky. We don't consent for our rights being taken away. We don't consent squelching of our free speech. We don't consent, you know, taking a chip for financial purposes. We don't consent these things. These are not part of what we want in our country. What we do want is a good economy. What we do want is to be able to have the American dream. What we do want is to be able to own our homes. What we do want is to be able to grow our own food. What we do want is to know that we can communicate with each other and not be silenced or censored. What we do want is for violence to cease. What we do want is for the psychotropic drugs to not be used on people anymore. What we do want is for freedom and truth to reign. What we do want is for our journalism media to report facts and not to spin the facts. What we do want is, you know, just all common sense. You know, we don't want technology in our food. We don't want to eat cloned human flesh. We don't want to eat cloned animals. We don't want to eat cloned vegetables. We don't want to eat genetically modified organisms. We don't want fluoride. We don't want our doctors to be afraid of the DEA and then not prescribe us enough of what we need in order to get through a whole month. I mean, the amount of issues is stacked so high that I believe that if you were to literally have a physical representation in the form of a Lego for each issue, it would reach the top of the dome. That's another thing. And that's like almost the biggest lie of all the lies. All I can say is water always finds its level, right? And that's like number one indicator right there. But this video is not about the flat earth. This video is just about me, who I am, get to know me. There will be more of me. You know, I can't do it as often as I'd like. I work 10-hour days, and I am physically a mess. I have degenerated disc disease in my neck and in my back. I had surgery that didn't fix it in my neck. They want to go back in, and I'm like, I don't want to be an experiment. So if you don't know that you know that you know that you're going to fix it this time, then no, you're not doing it. There's that. Richie, love you, man. So anyways, I'm not a shill. I'm not a faker. I'm not a bot. I am Jason Avila, and Red Pill Nation Worldwide is my channel. I have another channel that is called Red Pill Rights, which I will get into that at some point, hopefully. But I'm here to stay, whether YouTube sticks around or not. If YouTube isn't going to be a platform that is fair for everybody and have respect for our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, and our Fourth Amendment rights, all our rights really, then we will move to another platform that respects those rights, and YouTube will fall by the wayside. Facebook will fall by the wayside, because there will be something out there better to replace it, that doesn't infringe on our personal rights and our ability to tell the truth, doesn't censor us and shadow ban us. You know, kudos to Diamond and Silk, right? I mean, they went in there and they told it like it was, and you could see the vipers sitting up there in Congress just trying to come up with something to defame their credibility. And you know, they need our support too. So, you know, let's all get together, let's all stand up, let's all support each other, let's share each other's videos. I know I share a bunch of stuff on my Facebook page, and I recently changed all that to public, so I'm not just sticking with my circle of friends anymore. The time is now. The need is critical. God bless you all. Red Pill Nation Worldwide, signing off for the moment. Love you. And then how do I stop the video? This is new to me. So, and then what do I hit? Share? No, don't hit share. I don't know how to stop the video. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Yes, I want to stop streaming. All right, everybody. Take care.